My name is Rob Sevier. I'm from a record label in Chicago called the Numero Group. And what my label has been doing for the last 7 years is tracking down lost and forgotten music from the 60s and 70s mostly, and telling the complete story. So what I'm going to try and do today is put together a selection of the What's in My Bag short films, look a little bit at the history of What's in My Bag, how it started, and some of the anecdotes of how these films have come together. I think what I'm looking for with these is more, some of these is obviously about like my personal idiosyncrasies as far as what I think is kind of funny, but also material that captures the essence of what this is about, that make it feel like it's almost a short film.
I think that people do come to Amoeba, and it was always a very chill atmosphere to find pretty much everything they need. I mean, early on. I guess over time, we became friendly with them and approached them, and I think under a really no pressure environment, just want to kind of share what they're into. Legendary glam rock artist, Scheer to Alan Yankovic, and we're going to go through his bag and see what he's been purchasing today here at Amoeba Records in Hollywood. You see every celebrity and every rock and roll legend, but for some reason Weird Al sent this like tizzy amongst everyone, and Weird Al crosses all paths, every clique, everyone gives him props.
Hey Al.
Yeah.
I play with Brian Wilson.
Oh hey man, how are you?
Man, thanks for doing Pancreas.
I really love my pancreas.
Kenneth Keith Kallenbach, American icon. Now we actually had this guy on our show. He played a meth head on our show, and we thought he was acting, but I don't think he is. I don't say that he's a meth head, but something has gone horribly.
I think pretty much anything that Paul Scheer does is funny, more or less. But that Kenneth Keith Kallenbach anecdote is brilliant because that guy was like a truck stop comedian that, you know, he tracked down the most obscure DVD for his whimsy.
Never actually heard the Goons. This is Dudley Moore and Peter Cook and a third guy. No one talks about that third guy because those two went off and made awesome stuff. That third guy probably drank himself to
He's
death.
talking about himself.
I think when they were together, it was awesome.
Cut. Sorry, this is how I am. Hi, my name is Joe Matt. I'm a alternative cartoonist, I guess, for lack of a better label. To me, this is the high mark of all animation DVD sets. Volume 1 of 3 that collects the Fleischer Brothers black and white Popeye cartoons. It's just diminishing returns as you get to volumes 2 and 3, but I would push volume 1 on you without hesitation. I can watch them endlessly, and I do, and I pray that there'll be a Betty
I just
Boop
can't
set.
believe, I mean, Popeye the Sailor to me is so difficult to watch. It's like I love to watch some of these guys have this love for old-timey stuff that I don't love. I mean, I can't, this 20s and 30s stuff, I can't get into it. I can only get into the guys that love the old-timey stuff.
There's only a handful of strips that I really love, and this is one of them. You're a fool not to buy it.
All right, well, right here, live and direct from Amoeba, you know what I mean? Sunset, you know, Large Professor, Large Pro, the mad scientist, Extra P.
He's the protege to one of the greatest hip-hop producers of all time, Paul C. And this, to me, is kind of a critical video because of his really kind of touching remembrances of Paul C.
Paul C. McCasty, bass player, he played bass and everything, but he had this thing with records, man, and that was right around the time when I was really coming up with records, and all of his inner sleeves were Lebo sleeves. Those are the sleeves that have the paper and the plastic. Paul took it to the next level. Like his records smelled good.
His story is just kind of, it's kind of a sad story. I mean, it's an unsolved murder. He was murdered in his studio. The way that he sampled and looped breaks is the foundation for what we look at as like the golden era of hip hop.
Where's the goddamn Tommy Dorsey orchestra, huh? Who the hell is that? Where's the James Taylor?
I don't really have an easy time enjoying his comedy, but I love his character. I mean, it's a great character and it's a great concept.
Jerry Lewis Collector Series.
I keep her picture hanging upside down.
I'm hoping to Listen to some of these songs, The Candelabra Boogie, Pop, 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 Polka, and I'm a Little Busybody on my way out of the parking lot here tonight.
What's great about this is he actually is a pretty serious record collector. I mean, what his interests are, as you can imagine, the most outrageous kind of like incredibly strange music is kind of the subcategory ISM for short.
That's a genuine term.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I use that term probably every day of my life.
Where's the goddamn dollar? Where's the dollar bin? It's a long way to the dollar bin.
Hi, I'm Leslie Hall. You might know me from internet videos, which get over 200 views.
Shake it if you wanna hear more.
I wasn't actually familiar with Leslie Hall before. Her selections are all tongue-in-cheek, which that's great. I mean, I don't have any problem with that, but she has taken the format of a Wimby and done something very different with it.
Believe it or not, there are mad gay scientists in a Techno Lab who take my favorite songs.
It's pretty crude. I mean, it's the great thing about it is that it's a combination of home shopping network and kind of cable access. It has the feel that you just threw it together, but in a great way. I mean, in a completely functional way.
You pull this through, rotate.
Well, I was working in the web office already. We've been talking about the concept for a while, and they needed somebody to sort of take it on, and I said, I'll do it.
Who are you most excited to interview?
Dave Grohl.
This is kind of cute. Puget Power. Never seen this before. Really, the only two bands on this that I recognize were Gas Huffer and the Derelicts. I've never heard of Alcoholics, Unanimous, and Yummy before, but I bought it.
What's, I think, really interesting to him is he's an archaeologist of his own career, and he's fascinated with all the bands that he's touched and all just, you know, he understands, like, he finds a compilation of the place that he's from and doesn't know any of the bands on it, but that's what he's looking for. Coming up here, he tells this anecdote about an employee at Amoeba that's about as insider as it gets.
Guy walks up to the bar to get a drink and steps on the dog's foot. And so we're all sitting there drinking, and you just hear this dog go, "Oh!" And you look over, and you see this guy stand up like, "What the fuck, man?" to Guy. And Guy took that guy down in like 10 seconds. He grabbed the guy's head and just went bam, bam. And I think he knocked him out, and that was it. The guy fell over, they pulled him outside, they kicked his dog out, and Guy just kept drinking. I swear to God. Guy.
I mean, Dave Grohl definitely gets major points for having fist fight anecdotes about Amoeba employees.
Drop the motherfucking beatbox, dog. Double sock kick, open your mouth quick as a Bob kicks, motherfucker dog skink, that's Bob's throat.
Hi, I'm Ninja.
Everything about his facial expressions. I mean, this is interviewing the nihilists in The Big Lebowski.
I don't know what he said, it sounded fucking evil, and then
And of course, the incredible thing about this is that they seem to have no interest in the music. I mean, they're not here for the music. They're here for one of the more baffling pieces of Americana that you could come up with, which is South Park toys, which seems almost to fly in the face of what South Park is even about as a concept.
Hey, I'm Pinky. I do a thing called TV Carnage. I sit around going through 100,000 hours of TV and video so that you don't have to.
I had to go with this because I'm actually a fan of the TV Carnage. When you watch them, you know, you can certainly, if you decide to think about it, you could imagine what goes into the making of one of these.
You never hurt me, but you know you lied. I'm a housewife. What do you expect from me?
Skippy peanut butter creamy goodness, sorry, so creamy. Skippy snack bar.
But you don't really know specifically, obviously, because you're just watching this thing happen. You don't think, like, you know, maybe you fantasize that he works for a TV station and he has access to stuff. Maybe you can imagine a lot of different things, but what I think I really enjoyed was seeing him actually realizing that he's actually really doing a lot of the same types of stuff that I do, just walking into a place and buying a bunch of crap and, you know, figuring out what to do with it. Now, he's actually happier when he finds crap.
This guy, once again, I just bought this because of his shirt, and it looks like he's gonna go home and beat his wife.
I really wanted to show some of the work that Pia did because she gets right into his style and does a brilliant interpretation.
This shit is killing me.
So I spent the day here putting together a compilation of what I think some of the best moments of the What's in Your Bag series, but I also got to do my own and be a part of the history. So we'll close it out by spending some time on the floor shopping and putting together my own selection. The first item I got is Freddie Gibbs.
Everybody in the D with the finger roll studio, nobody had a flow quite like mine. But along with the fame came a whole lot of hate from the hood. Every day I would fight.
He's at a crossroads as far as like rap goes because Freddie Gibbs is doing kind of a golden era style of rap with classic samples, but he's putting everything out on the internet. I've gotten all his releases online, but what I really wanted was something to hold in my hand. I had to buy the Night Jewel record because I'm in LA. This is on one of the coolest local labels, Gloriette, and pretty much everybody my age who lives in LA listens to Night Jewel. When in Rome. This is the new version of Bitches Brew, which is kind of unessential, but for one fact that it has a DVD of a live performance of some of the early versions of some of the songs that ended up on Bitches Brew. Miles himself looks like, for the most part, like he's about to fall apart. And he plays about like one note every 5 minutes, while his band does all the heavy lifting as far as carrying the groove. It's an incredibly psychedelic experience to watch this group of people to come together, and footage is relatively rare, and only up to now, for the most part, on several bootlegs. For the most part, I buy old records, and I had to grab this because I think that a big part of where record collecting comes from is people trying to rediscover something from their youth. And one of the things I've been looking for only recently is records I listened to hundreds of times. Now, it's a bit disingenuous because I owned all these records on cassette. I never had LPs as a kid. But this is one of my favorite. It's the Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped.
My hands were all bloody from punching on the concrete. God damn, homie. My mind is playing tricks on me.
It is an actual shot of Bushwick Bill in the hospital after shooting himself in the head. Scarface and Willie D went to the hospital and wheeled him out of his room and took this cover shot. That is not makeup. That is real gore. I don't know of too many like mainstream releases, as much of this is underground, that have an actual dude's bullet wound on the cover. But this is a classic record. This is the process of putting together a compilation. You go to the place, you get the materials, you talk to the people, and then you assemble them. I think that we've basically given the Numero treatment to the What's in Your Bag story.
I'm just a poor, wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woes, but there is no sin.
Amoeba.